Hey everybody, MS Farzan here, and in this video we're going to take a look at how to create a Twitter ad campaign. I'm going to start this video by presuming that you already have a Twitter account and have set it up so that you can go to ads.twitter.com and you already have like a credit card associated with your account, and we're just going to look at how to create a campaign using the ad dashboard. I'm right here in the homepage of the ad dashboard. Usually you'll be in the campaign section of the dashboard, but I've clicked over to audience just because I don't want you to see my stuff. And we're going to start by clicking this button up here called Create Campaign. The first options that you're presented to when you click Create Campaign is to determine what is your campaign objective. Do you want to engage people with your tweets? Or I should say, do you want people to engage with your tweets because of this ad that you're running? Do you want to promote video views? Do you want to get as many people as possible to see your tweet? Do you want to get people to go to your website or to your store page? Or do you want to get more followers? Essentially, you have to determine what are you attempting to accomplish with this campaign. For the purposes of this video, we're going to say, well, I want to get people to go to my website or my store page. So I'll click on this big button here. And what I'll have here is a campaign setup where I need to enter some information about what I want. First thing I'm going to do is choose a campaign name, and I'm just going to call this one Sample Campaign. You'll have to choose your funding source. If you already have your credit or debit card associated with your account, then you'll just select that here. You can choose a daily budget or a total budget, and that's going to determine how your money is spent or how much of your money you're willing to spend per day. If I say that I want to run this from today until a specific time, then I'll just set a daily budget for that time, and I don't have to set a total budget. Or I can say, I just want to set a total budget and I want you to spend that money as quickly as you can. Right now, we're just going to say, I'm going to spend $5 per day, and I'm not going to set a total budget. Instead, I'm going to say, I want this to run from today until, like a month or whatever. This looks like a little bit less than a month, and you can tinker with the exact timing if you want to as well. Like I want it to start today at 4 p.m. and I want it to end at 11 p.m. on the last day of it. And when you click on advanced, you can pace it differently. If you hover over this little information icon and click it, it'll say show ads throughout the day to spend budget as efficiently as possible. Or you can click the accelerated, which says for time constrained campaigns like major sporting events, show ads as often as possible each day. So generally, unless you're doing a time sensitive event, you'll want to click on standard pacing. So we're going to choose that right now. And then up here, you can click Save Draft or you can exit. We're going to click Next as we'd like to continue. And you can follow along on the left side here where we see that we've gone from the campaign to the ad groups. If you haven't worked with advertising or marketing before, you might scratch your head at why you have to set up an ad group as well as your targeting and all of the different aspects of your campaign. Ad groups are a way of collecting all of the types of audiences and types of creatives or types of ads that you want into one bucket. And you can do that to more specifically target certain people or certain groups of people with certain ads that you have made specifically for them. And even in specific time periods, and you can put that all in one bucket, and then you have a second bucket that you have different people or different ads or different time constraints that you want to work with. For the purposes of this video, we're going to presume that you just want to set up a simple ad that you just want everybody to see, or at least your specific audience members to see, and you don't have to divide them into different buckets. But if you wanted to, the ad group setup is here for you. We need to create at least one ad group, and we're just going to call this I make role-playing and card games, so I'm just going to call this RPG audience members. And if I want to run my ads to a specific start group, to a specific group during a specific time and not through the entirety of the campaign, I could do that. I could say, well, RPG audience members, they're only, on Twitter at night. So I want these to run at from 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific time. But my card game people, they're in a different ad group and they're only on Twitter in the morning. So I want to run them from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. In the morning. So I could do that, but I'm not going to do that here. And I could also say that, well, I want my RPG people to have $3 of that total $5 budget, and I want my card game people to have the rest. I'm also not going to do that here. I'm just going to say that I just have one ad group, and I want them all to be using the same budget and the same time as the parent campaign. I could change things with the bid. And I highly recommend doing a little bit of research to understand how bids work across advertising. We're not going to go into that in this video. If you're looking just to have a basic campaign, just leave it at automatic bid and you'll be fine. And we'll click on next, and that will take us to our targeting. And this is all of this is important, but this step is one of the most important parts in your marketing venture overall. And that's not just limited to your Twitter ads. You're going to want to determine exactly what types of people will be interested not only in your game, but also in knowing about your game or any one of your products on Twitter. So I want to determine that, for example, the types of games that I make are cyberpunk fantasy games. So there might be some overlap with other users of Twitter, for example, people who are interested in sports and soccer. But I'm probably not going to want to target those people with my ads. I'll just be wasting money because, by and large, I have no guarantee that someone who is interested in soccer is going to see my tweet and say, hey, I want to check out this cyberpunk fantasy role-playing game. That's just not realistic. I want to find people on Twitter that are interested in the games that I'm making and will be more interested in clicking on my ads so that I'm able to get them to check them out and hopefully buy them. So you can make some changes here up at the top, saying that I want to browse a tailored audience or a mobile audience or use flexible audience targeting. We're actually going to do this the long way so that you get an understanding of how this works and how targeting in general should work. When I look under demographics, I can choose by gender, determining, and of course this is a binary understanding of gender, saying that I want to target men or women or all genders. So I'm going to do that right now, just target all gender. If I have an age range, I can do that here, and I can select, let's say I want people 13 and up because of the types of games that I make. If I want to target by location, I certainly can. Right now I'm going to stick with United States, but if I wanted to do United Kingdom as well, I could certainly do that by typing here United Kingdom, and this should auto-populate with country United Kingdom. So I could just do that and click on add here. And you won't know that it's added, except that now it says remove, and you'll click out of this drop down. You're like, oh yeah, it's there. And so you'll want to do your location here. Also, if you want to target a specific language or technology, you could do that here. So if I want to do Spanish-speaking folks, I could do that here as well. And down here below are the audience features, meaning what does your audience look like and what are their interests, so that you can target your ads to people who have in some way expressed an interest in that interest. So if you just start typing a specific interest, like we talked about role-playing games, I'll type in role-playing and see what comes up. Under an interest, I have gaming-role-playing games. I'm going to add that one. Let's try RPG. Video game, quiz RPG, the world of Mystic Wiz. That doesn't seem very interesting. I have follower lookalikes, which means do I want to target people who follow a certain Twitter handle that might be applicable to my game or my product? So this makes me think, well, my game might be interesting to people who like Dungeons and Dragons. So I'll type in Dungeons and Dragons, see what happens. I have Dungeons and Donalds, which is not very good for me. I'm not actually seeing anything here that's applicable. So let me type in D&D and see what happens here. Nothing for D&D, so that's another learning experience for us. Now I can try, I know the name of this handle, which is wizards _D&D. I can't find anything here that's useful for me. So I guess that's just the luck of the draw. You might not be able to find exactly what you're looking for. But if I type in cyberpunk, I see cyberpunk under the follower lookalikes. I see cyberpunk game, which could be applicable to the audience members that I'm attempting to target. I see cyberpunk 2077 that could also be interesting, and it shows you in this when you hover over it, it shows that there are 52,000 followers. So that might be something interesting for people to see. And I can just add the keyword too. Like if I have a hashtag or just I want this word to be included, I can do that here. And you'll see on your audience summary that I have my targeting. You want it to be in this green area where you say there's not too few and there's not too many people that I'm trying to target. Right now I've got too few of people to make my ad meaningful, but we're just doing this as an exercise. You'll want to spend a lot of time here and make sure that you've got it right. And you might even have to come back here when your ad is running to tinker with it and make it even better. When I'm done with that, I'll go over to my creatives, and a creative is simply a piece of art, or in this case, a tweet that you want to run as an ad. You can create in this little dashboard area new tweets, or you can select ones from your previous tweets. For example, I'm just going to select this one just for the sake of argument, and say that I want to run this tweet, and you can sort by whether these were organic tweets or scheduled tweets or a promoted only tweet that you've used before. Probably if this is your first time running an ad, you won't have a promoted only tweet. And if you want to create a new tweet that's just for this ad campaign, you can click on this little quill icon, and it'll take you to a new screen where you can say buy my games, and with a bunch of hashtags and a link. And as you can see here, because it says promoted only, then this won't appear in your on your Twitter feed. This is only used by Twitter in your building your ad campaigns. If you want to add media or like an image or a video, you can do that too. You could add a poll. All of these different options are available to you here. And then you'll, if you've done that, you'll want to click refresh so that it will appear. And if you're not seeing it, you'll want to click over to this button and click promoted only tweets, and then it will appear there. And then here on the right hand side, you'll see placements, which just means where is this ad going to be placed. Generally it will be in users' timelines, but you can select whether or not you want it to show up in profiles and search results, and other categories. For example, right now I already have this set up in role-playing games. You can exclude apps, and you can choose the top level advertiser domain. Right now I have it set to my website, and then you click next, and then here you have all the details that that we've already spoken about. This is just a report of what you've already done, and you'll click launch campaign to launch it at the time of your choosing. There might be some time in between when you launch it and when you actually start to see results. I'm not sure if it goes through an internal review before that happens, but there is a bit of a delay. And you'll want to make sure that you go back to that campaign while it's running and see how things are performing, which ads are performing better than others if you've added more than one tweet to your campaign, which ad groups are working better if you have multiple ad groups. Do you have an idea of how many click-throughs you're getting to your website? Are people engaging with your tweets if that's your objective? Do you need to tweak things and perhaps add a new tweet or change some of the language or extend your budget or extend the time frame? That tinkering will show you a lot about what's working for you and what's not working. You might have to go back into your ad group and change your targeting so that you are trying to get your ads in front of other people. And that's a very important part of the process of making sure that you have a successful ad campaign. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. If it has been, please like it and subscribe to my channel. You can check out my games and my books, and we'll have more for you soon.